Today we kōrero with mana wahine, Jenny May Clarkson. She's a wife, a mother, a sister, and somebody I have genuinely looked up to for the majority of my life. She was a New Zealand touch rep, Silver Fern, Commonwealth Games silver medalist, and is an ambassador for Bowel Cancer New Zealand. We kōrero about having a plan to keep smashing your goals when the priorities are changing during the day, building resilience in yourself and your children, her younger years, her whakapapa, her moko kauai, and what that represents for her. Netball career highlights and the PPP program that she used when she was coaching, perimenopause, knowing your body and where to get help and support, and moments with special people. Let's get into it. Oh, thank you so much for having us in your beautiful whare today. We're so grateful to be here and grateful for your time after eating some pies this morning, I'm sure.
Good pies.
Good pies.
Yes.
Great pies. So we always start with a wellbeing card for our interviews, and we develop these to ask better questions of people rather than just going, hey, how are you going today? So you're running the gauntlet, pick a card, read it out to us, and then let us know your answer.
If we learn from our mistakes, why are we always so afraid to make mistakes or make a mistake? Because we don't want to look like dicks. That's why, I think. This goes back to ego. How we feel about ourselves, how we're perceived by others. What are people going to think if I do something and I fail? What does that say about me? I used to say to kids many moons ago when I was playing netball and I would be asked to go and speak to young people, I would always say, if you don't give things a go, how will you even know what you're good at? And the flip side of that is, how will you even know that you're not good at it or that you don't like it? It's better to do something and not like it or not be good at it than have regrets a little bit later on and go, man, what if I'd given that a go, what it would have been like. So, it's just about being afraid to look like a dick, really.
I often say, like, hang your ego on the door. Whatever room you're about to walk into, whether it's a business meeting, presenting, whatever it is, just chuck your ego on the door, because then you've got nothing to prove when you walk in. You just focus on the doing rather than the, how am I going to look?
Hard to do though, right?
Real hard.
I think the older you get. And it, because I totally believe in that. And I know I've said that and I've gone into a room and then somebody started speaking and then all of a sudden my, everything in me starts to kind of arc up, and then you go, okay, just chill. This isn't personal. I'm here to learn, and I can't learn if I'm not listening and hearing what the other person has to say.
And open to getting things that try.
It's not always easy.
I like that try thing too. I mean, I just turned 40 recently, and I'm like, man, the amount of things I didn't try because I thought I'd suck at it, and I was such a great netballer. So I was like, don't try anything else because I'm good at that, and you don't want to suck at something different. So I think that's great advice.
I'm sure there's things that I didn't do because of that, but generally that's how I try to approach things. Unless I know I'm going to suck at it, and I go, no, I'm going to suck at it.
Even then though, you can suck at it and still have great fun.
True.
Like singing. Can't sing, but love doing it.
I love it. Go you.
So tell us about growing up in Piopio. Tell us about your whānau, being the youngest of 6. Tell us about life in the early days.
I remember having a really happy childhood. Adored my brothers. Christmas is always a time that sticks out in my mind because my brothers would always come home for Christmas, and so I would eagerly await their arrival on Christmas Eve, and then they'd go to the pub. Then I had to stay home because I was the youngest. But I didn't grow up with my 2 older brothers. There's a bit of separation in terms of age. So I adored them and would spend as much time as I could with them during the school holidays and be sent to Rotorua and hang out with them for a week or 2 during the school holidays. But, Mum and Dad were hard workers. They managed the local dairy for a number of years, kind of when I was at the end of primary school, beginning of secondary school. So they, go on before 5 o'clock in the morning, not home till 8, 9, 10 at night.
Yep.
So on that level, they would always try and have somebody at home, pop home to see if me, it would have been only me at the time during then. Maybe my sister was around, I don't know. But always try and pop home just to see if we were all good. But I was grateful for the childhood that I had, small, rural place. We all knew one another. You were either hanging out down Kawana Street, which was where all my mates were from school. At school doing, whether it was, softball, kapahaka, we were all pretty tight-knit community. And you just played all sport. You were involved in everything. Mum and Dad didn't have to go and take you anywhere or drop you off. You just kind of took your 10, 15 minutes to walk everywhere. Yeah. So it was pretty free, and I consider how my sons are growing up and how our kids are growing up these days. So, yeah, I'm grateful for the childhood that I had.
It's remarkably different, eh? Like even just cruising out on your bike to go hang out with your mates.
And you just didn't come home until this kind of as soon as the street lights came on, you went, oh, okay, better go home now. It must be about 5, 6 o'clock. We'll go home for dinner. Yeah. And that's pretty much how we used to roll back in the day. And you'd ring from your mate's place, go, oh, I'm going to stay here.
Yeah.
Go to school from here, Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of time that it was. And we had our marae just up above our house.
Oh, wow.
So you could just walk up the hill up to the marae whenever there were things on. Yeah. It was happy.
Yeah. My dad reckons he knows your parents and your grandparents.
Yeah, probably.
Because he used to drive the truck to the dairy and deliver the ice cream and stuff. And he's like, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it's their whānau.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's so cool. I love those kind of ties. So tell us coming through then. So then you start into netball and you were a police officer. So talk to us about that journey.
Netball was my first love when it came to sport. I dabbled. Actually, no, that's a lie. Actually, tennis. I loved tennis when I was at school.
Oh, wow.
But it just used to frustrate me. And I wasn't that great at it. I thought I was good. In Piopio, maybe. I was a sub-junior champion, so maybe I was good in Piopio. And then netball started to come through and, I tried 1 year playing hockey, went back to netball. But by the age of 10, I had this real belief that I was going to play for the Silver Ferns. Don't ask me why. It was just something that I knew I was going to achieve. So I was grateful that I played with a lot of adults when I was at school. And rep teams for Maniapoto, then for King Country, club netball as well. So that laid a really solid foundation for me as a player, just being surrounded by more mature thinking, not only on the court, but off the court as well.
All
and
those
how
behaviours.
you kind of, and how you respond to certain situations. Yeah. So I was, again, lucky to be surrounded by some really good people. And then moved to Hamilton when I was 16. And when I left home, I knew I wanted to be a police officer as well. So it was just about biding my time until I turned 20. I went down to police college at 19, turned 20 when I was down there.
Yeah.
And I guess, I don't know, the rest of it just happened in terms of netball. I wasn't the greatest trainer.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what it took. No, I didn't really know what it took to be at the top level because I had natural ability, and it was enough. While I was at school, while I was playing King Country, I think we were 4th division when I first started playing. So it wasn't first of stuff. And then it wasn't till I went to Hamilton and made vedettes, and there was a national league, club league, and that's when the real hard training started. And I'd get women who were Silver Ferns at the time would come and knock on my door at 6 o'clock in the morning to pick me up to go to a training, because they knew I wasn't going to get myself there any other way. Again, surrounded by amazing people who could see my ability and the things that I couldn't see
Yeah.
in myself at that time as a young person. So Waikato, I didn't make the Silver Fern till I was 23, so I went to police college, came back, and had a couple of years at that top level before making it in. So balancing out police work plus Silver Fern stuff, and then some touch thrown in there as well.
Just chucking in your touch. You're amazing at touch as well.
Once upon a time.
I love your focus on whānau and your gratitude for that support. So can you talk to us about how that support and love that's sort of been around you has helped you with sort of self-acceptance and your own growth as you've gone through all these different parts of your journey?
Whānau for me always kept me grounded. When I've felt like I've been pretty good at something, whānau always there to go, that's good, but actually, there's still a little bit of work to do. But I guess for me with my mum, there was never any expectation. No expectations were put on me by mum, by dad, by anybody in our whānau, actually. They could see the opportunities and the talent, but that was up to me to do with whatever pathway I wanted to take. And so I think that had a real impact. Because I put huge expectation on myself. I had reached a certain level and I loved it, so I wanted the next bit. There was just always this calm reassurance from mum and dad, silent kind of support. Would turn up to games, didn't have to say much. But that in itself, just their presence gave me, grounded me.
Yeah. It's that showing up, the value of showing up, I think, for Again,
not having to, they knew not to kind of try and dissect my performance in the moment, because that wouldn't go well for anyone. But just keeping me grounded by being there. I think now with my sons, and I think back to what my parents did, and I go, that's how I want to show up for my sons. I don't have to say anything. I don't have to be a vocal mum. They just have to know that I love them and that they're capable of achieving anything they put their mind to. And again, a reflection of how I was raised. You can do whatever you want. It's just up to you. I can't do that work for you. It is completely up to you. It would have been frustrating for my parents at times, knowing what I was capable of, but again, growing and figuring stuff out for myself, and them having to let me just go through that. And I see that now with my sons when they go, there's talent there, but I'm not sure that they want to go any further. I mean, they're 9.
They're
9.
We're managing expectations.
Totally. And I just think this is their life. I've got to let them, at the same time, gently, try and push them towards where I think there is possibility. But ultimately, if they don't, then I have to step back. Now, we'll see how that goes. But that's the plan.
It's easier said than done, because you can sort of see these opportunities and you're like, why aren't we
just
doing
go.
that?
It's going to be amazing. You're going to love it. You're going to grow as a person. It might suck, but the lessons that you'll learn, but further down, that you'll reflect on, all of those things. And so, again, my parents just let me, I had a drive, but my parents just let me find that pathway, and I went off it and then came back on it and went off it. And I guess all they kind of hoped for was that I would get back on that path and find my own way eventually.
It was probably a blessing too, having sort of the older women that you were playing netball with bring you along on it, if you know what I mean, and not kind of let you and be like, oh, well, she's not going to do it, she's not going to do it. But actually, that gentleness, well, not gentle, get in the car, Jenny May, we're going to go train. But
and being that step removed too from my family. Because we can always be harder and tougher on those that are within our own, our whānau, our inner circle,
100%.
than those who are a step or two removed. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I was lucky to have those role models
Yeah.
around me. Yeah.
With that genuine care, I think that's the we could all see. Well, I was younger, but when I saw you on a netball court, you flew. It was. We'll talk about that later, anyway, but like you were one of my genuine role models. Any chance I could go watch vedettes on Court 1 at Hamilton Minot Park, like me and my friends would jack it up. One of the mums would pick us all up and then drop us all off before our games would be way later, and we all would be super early, and then we'd just wait around for like 4 hours or 3 hours waiting to see Amos and Jenny May in mid-court because you guys were so fierce. It was so good.
Oh, I love that. And it's a good reminder. I remember when I was coaching and I had 2 of the Silver Ferns who were good mates of mine. And I remember going into a bar down in Hamilton, and we sat down and had something to eat. And I can't remember what was on, whether it was a rugby or something that was on, and sitting there. And I said to them, "This is cool, eh?" And they were kind of, "Oh, yeah." And I said, looking at the fans, and they were kind of like, "Yeah, yeah." And I said, people turn up to watch you, eh? That they have this genuine excitement about the skills that you have and what you bring to the court. And we shouldn't lose sight of that, because without, people wanting to come and watch, you can have all the skills in the world, but if nobody sees them, there's no joy for everyone else. Yeah. So don't ever forget the joy that you bring to other people that are watching. And they kind of stopped for a little bit and went,
That's so true.
Yeah.
When no offence to Hamilton Netball, but when they took the Prem Netball indoors and moved, I was so sad for the next. Didn't affect me at all. I was past that point, but I felt so sad for that younger generation who's down at the courts, who don't get to see that level.
Agree.
But
you could walk past. That was a beautiful thing I loved about Minot Park. You could walk past that top court, and you could take a look down, see your premier players, and go, "I want to do that one day," or "I want to play on that court." Yeah, real buzz around it. And I agree. When it went indoor on a Friday night or whatever night it was, I went, I reckon there's something missing.
And then it sort of took that accessibility away, because then if you couldn't afford to go and watch what was then the National Bank Cup, like you still had that. The connection,
to those players playing club on a Saturday morning. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, those beautiful words.
Food for thought. Food for thought. Hamilton Netball. No. Yeah. Now your mokokawi I adore, and I wanted to talk about it specifically. So if anybody listening doesn't understand, today might be the day that we might help to shed some light on what it means and the mana that sits within it and the connection. So do you want to talk to us?
I guess the simplest way to put it, it's an affirmation of who I am, my whakapapa, my iwi, my hapu, my whānau, and an acknowledgement of my connection to all of those things. My tribe, my sub-tribe, my family, and a connection to my ancestors. When you see me, you have no doubt about who I am and what I represent. And I am just a representation of the generations that have gone before me. It's an art form that was lost to a couple of generations, and it was something that I wanted to bring back for my whānau. Yeah. And it's normalising it for my family, for my boys. They go to a kura, so their kaiako, their teachers, some of them have kauai, some of them have mataora, the men. Yep. So it's normal for them in that space, but now it's normalised for them in this space, and whatever space that I choose, that we go in. But on a very simple level, it is a representation of who I am. Yeah. And my ancestors that have gone before me. Yeah, I love that. There's a new song out. I always talk about songs. There's a new song out. It's a country song, and it's called "The Women in Me," and that's just the women I am.
And it's like talking about the fact that I am my great-grandmother, and that me now is all of them, and you're loving all of them because you love me. I
always think about when you talk about deja vu. When I think about deja vu, for me, I go, one of my ancestors has either met one of your ancestors when you're in a moment where you go, wow, I feel like I go, yeah, because I have. Because someone in my whakapapa has either been in this space or been in your presence, one of your ancestors' presence, and it gives me comfort knowing that, or thinking that and feeling that. But for me, it's a representation of who I am, my Māoritanga, my whakapapa, but normalising it for my whānau, and for my babies.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. Now, aside from your whānau and aside from your husband, are there any other people who have really positively impacted your life up until this point that you want to kōrero about today?
Oh, probably heaps. It's I knew this was going to happen. I mean, lots of different people along my journey, but I have one person that has popped into my head only because I went to her funeral service a couple of weeks ago, so it's kind of stuck in my head. But we played netball together when I first came to Hamilton. She was a cop, and I wanted to be a police officer. She was a cop. She was just had this massive personality, and she took me out on a night shift one night, and I'll never forget. After that I was like, and it was in Huntley, and I was like, this is so what I want to do. And there's little moments like that have happened in my life, and I think about her and the impact that she had on me, not only within the netball teams, but just life in general. And whilst it was I was really shaken by her death a few weeks ago, but it also gave me the opportunity to remember. And again, that she had such a pivotal impact on me many, many, many years ago. And so I was grateful to be able to sit in that for a little while too and remember her in that way. And I know I've had moments like that throughout my lifetime, and they may not have felt like those pivotal moments at the time, but on reflection you go back and you go, man, just those words, just that time that person took, how that made me feel, or that it changed a trajectory of my life that you just didn't understand at the time.
It's that hindsight stuff, the benefit of hindsight. I think it's always beautiful. That's why we always ask these kind of questions about people who've impacted, because they may never know the legacy they left on you. Like, it might just be that passing moment, like you were fantastic in whatever you just did, or whatever you just felt noticed or seen, or they gave you a tidbit of advice or support along the journey. And the fact that we talk about them is that legacy, if that makes sense. Like, that when we sit here and reflect, there are those people who just thought they were just going about their day that day, or that was just their normal, but
and don't understand
they've had.
And I make a point of that, and I've had the opportunity with a couple of people that have, whether they've changed a job or moved somewhere, that before they've done that, I've actually said to them, you have no idea, but when I first came into this job, the impact, the kindness that you showed me, and I'll never forget that. Just to be able to honour that person. Because again, I don't know, like my friend who passed away, who I hadn't seen for years, but I hadn't had the opportunity to actually say to her, this is the impact that you had. So any chance I think if that is in you and that you feel that, to be able to express it.
Yeah, agree.
When you can.
Agree.
Yeah.
And most of the time, I think, like, you've got coaches and mentors out there who, you know, we knowingly know we're stepping into a role to help someone. But I think it's when it's those offhanded things that no one, I think that's the special, that's the magic. That's where those people need to know how fantastic they were in our lives.
Just how much they meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what they said and did. Yeah, I think it's really important to share.
Agree. Now, as I said, so I used to, any chance I got, hoon down to the courts or hoon down to wherever I could to see you fly. And honestly, my mum used to get sort of frustrated at me because I'm an only child, and she'd be like, oh, just bike down there. And I'm like, no, because I won't get there on time. Or she'd be like, we need to get home. And I'd be like, but no, they're playing in 2 hours. And I used to be such a pain in their sides of, fine, we'll come back and get you. Okay, love you, bye. And that high trust model back in the day that they genuinely knew I'd just be sitting there watching. I wasn't going anywhere else. But I feel like a lot of us struggle with the fact of who were we, who am I, and who am I now, sort of things along the journey. Like, I used to be a CEO, or I was a founder of this, or I was a netballer. And for a while there, I had that. So I was on this pathway of under 17s and under 19s for netball. And then when you stop playing, people are like, oh, how's netball going? And you're like, oh, you're not doing it anymore. And they're like, oh. And they kind of lose how to even talk to you. And then you start going, who am I now outside of that? So I just wondered if you want to talk to us about some learnings maybe around that, as you've sort of pivoted out of different spaces, and the who I think I am, who I am, and that mindset around it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't grapple with it. But at 51, I've been in television for almost 20 years.
Have you?
Yep.
Far out.
And so I go, okay, so, well, it's not necessarily who am I in this instance. For me, it's more, okay, so what is the next bit if this is all I've been doing, and the perception of who I am is, you know, in this space here, but what's the next space? What does that look like?
Yeah.
You know, I'll go back to when I was first dropped from the Silver Ferns, and I devastated, didn't want to leave the house, cried, wouldn't answer my phone because I just thought I was a loser.
Yeah.
I had put everything into that was who I am. My identity was all wrapped up in being a Silver Fern. And so when that was taken away from me, I went, okay, nobody's going to like me. Nobody will want to hang out with me because I'm not cool anymore. I'm not the Silver Ferns. Like, seriously, this is how I thought.
Understand, yeah.
And it wasn't until I received a beautiful card from my nieces just saying,
shout out, girls.
You know.
Yeah.
We love you, Auntie. It doesn't matter what you do. We love you.
Yeah.
That was the moment that I kind of snapped out of it and went, okay, so I'm a cool auntie. I'm a cool person, hopefully. You know, it was that trigger that went, okay, you just got to get on with stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad, even though it hurt at the time, I'm really glad that happened. And I was able to, next time I got dropped, go, okay, it's one person's opinion. I'm good with that. And, you know, continue to learn and grow. How can I be better if I still want to stay in this space? And I think, you know, now for me, yes, I do a job on television, but that's not who I am. I'm a pretty strong-minded, you know, woman from Ngāti Maniapoto. I am a wife, I'm a mum, I'm all of those other things.
Yeah.
I'm a creative, I'm whoever I want to be, but that's not who I am. It's just something that I do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do love what I do. Yeah. And part of my identity is wrapped up in what I do. And I say that because what I give you is me. Yeah. It's genuinely me. And it's taken me a long time to come to that and be able to give me on TV. Earlier on in my career, it was more, you know, what am I supposed to be like? what do people at home expect from me? And I guess because I've been in it for such a long time, I'm, you know, a bit older now, I kind of go, hey, you know what, this is it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't like it, turn the channel. No, don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only be me, and I can only bring myself to the conversation.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't always bring all of it because I've got to save some of that.
Yeah.
I've got to save some of that special stuff for home.
Yeah.
Because it's not an easy space to work in with the amount of energy that you give to it.
Yeah, 100%.
And who suffers? My family does.
Yeah.
Because they get the B version of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's most of us, right?
Yeah.
We kind of do what we can during the day, and then we
and then expect everybody at home just to, you know, respond to it and accept it. Yeah, so I don't know, going back to the question about, you know, identity, I think we all probably go through a period of feeling like whatever we're doing is, you know, we wrap ourselves up in who we are in that. And I don't think you can help that to a certain extent, but it's just understanding, you know, there's other parts to you, and actually to fill up those, you know, parts of your life.
Yeah.
So that when that bit goes,
we're good over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to hurt, or it's not going to be different, but that you have other parts of your life that you can fall into and go, yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm a good mum. I'm trying my best. You know, I'm a good wife. I'm trying my best. You know, and there's other things that I love to fill up my time with, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny, though, the voice that lives up here that tells us all those horrible things to start with, like when you were not in the Silver Ferns and all those things, like, no, so I want to be my friend, like that rent-free human, that rent-free imaginative thing that lives up there, like, oh man, we tell ourselves horrid things.
It's hard when you're younger too. I think you don't kind of buy into that narrative to a certain extent. Again, you know, it's not so long, but older, had a few experiences, had to go through some lows and highs and all of that to kind of come out the other end and go, I'm at a point now where I acknowledge the narrative that is running around in my mind, and then go, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then move on. You know, I've tried to shut it down before it even starts, which worked for a period of time, but then it continued. And I guess you have to figure that stuff out for yourself. Yeah, and you have to explore different ways of closing down that inner voice and flip it and build it up to actually be your cheerleader.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, those I acknowledge mine, and I go, yeah, I can,
whatever. Thank you. Yeah.
And then move on with it. And that has been, you know, something that's worked for me.
Yeah. I've started to learn, Brené Brown said it, and it's now stays there, of the story I'm telling myself is, because I'll be like, my husband's trying to annoy me because he didn't take the rubbish out, or he left the dishes there and he's just trying to tick me off. But that's the story I'm telling myself. Like, that was too minor. Those are not the examples. But, you know, I know, but ridiculous things. But you start going, oh, well, this person's done that, or, you know, I haven't heard from this person because actually, you know, the story I'm telling myself about this is this. Did I actually just...
And the only person being wound up about it is you.
Yeah. But I agree with the smaller, like when we were younger, the stories, like I was dropped from under 17s because I got an ankle injury 6 weeks out from nationals. Like there was time to get me back on court, but I got dropped by the manager and didn't hear from the coach. And I was just devastated because netball was me, and I was heartbroken, and I was like, oh my goodness. And the stories I told myself then were horrid, and I was like, I'm never playing reps again. So I didn't, and I had to. Well, I did end up because I didn't trial, but Glenys Brown, rest in peace, called me up, and she was like, we need you. We've had an injury just before nationals. Amanda Lover went down, and I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Like, and I self-sabotaged to make sure that. But it's those kind of things, and then the world gets bigger, and you go, okay, hold on a minute, that's just one of those things we learnt from. And but never get your manager to drop a young girl. Let's have a kōrero about it. That was so brutal.
That is brutal.
That was horrible.
I also think about how we perceive somebody else's attitude towards us, whether it's by their body language, what they've said, what they're not saying, what they're saying to others, and you know. and you're reading into a whole lot of the stuff. And actually, you have no idea. Ask the question.
Yeah.
If you have a bit of an issue, if you're not sure where somebody stands, if you're not sure where you stand,
Ask. I love that.
just kind of say, hey, look, I don't. Are we good?
Yeah.
Or is there an issue with this? Is there an issue with that? Because, most of the time, not all the time, you will be making that stuff up. But if there is an issue, well, you're confronting it.
Yeah, let's see.
Just got to be prepared for that, though, when you do ask those questions, that you might get a bit of a pushback. But, yeah, if there's an issue, it either matters, and if it doesn't matter, then move on. If it matters, you've got to ask the question. Otherwise, you'll start making stuff up.
I love that. Have you seen the movie Cool Runnings?
Yes.
There's a line in there.
ago.
I use this line all the time. But if you're not enough without the medal, you'll never be enough with it. And I think about that for pretty much all of our conversation today to this point of, yes, I'm a netballer, but if I'm not enough without that, it's having that sort of mindset to be like, actually, whether we win the ANZ Premiership, whatever it is, who am I outside of that? And I shouldn't be tied up, and the things will do themselves the way they're going to do it. And if I do give my best and I do all of the right things, the outcomes will hopefully, but if we lose and I'm still giving my best, that's all good. That's not a reflection of anything else. And I'm still a good human. I'm enough, and all these other, I think it's a really neat mindset
I love that.
Think about.
I love that, but winning would make it even better.
It would. Don't get me wrong.
Just say.
My competitiveness tells me I like to win. But knowing no matter, you walk away from it and go, well, I gave everything I had and everyone else gave everything they had and it wasn't on the day. But doesn't mean it's a reflection of me or makes me less than.
I remember when I was coaching with Mystics and Helene Wilson, who was the head coach, good mates, she brought in a system where it was, hopefully I remember this now, so getting the girls to understand that you're talking about your performance, personal, and I think the other one was professionalism.
Yeah.
So when I'm having a conversation with you, right now we're talking about performance. So it's got nothing to do with you as a person. Anything about who you are. This is about the performance. And I just need you to understand that.
Yeah.
So it took a little while for them to get their head around it. But then once it clicked in, you could have some really good, robust, honest conversations about, look, you coughed up 3 balls or, you're not receiving the ball enough on the centre pass, whatever it was. And it became just about that. So I want to talk to you about personal stuff. Well, that's a completely different conversation. Let's not mix the two together. Performance, about how you've been actually going, building up. Are you doing, A, B, C, D, the little things that you're supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
Getting yourself to trainings on time, turning up in the right headspace. That's a separate conversation as well. Once we separated those things out, once the team actually got an understanding of that, it made for really good conversations.
Yeah. There is so much to be learned for every business person, any one part of a team right now, to hear that, because that's what it is, right? Like, if we can have a good trust model where we know, I'm not trying to tear you down, I want the best for you and the best for our team, and so we just need to talk about this part of the performance.
Totally.
And I'm not attacking you, I'm not coming in trying to shame you or anything. Oh man, growth.
Yeah, it takes a lot of
does.
Time.
Yeah. And trust. Yeah,
effort, all of that. Yeah.
Because more often than not, over our years, when we get feedback, it has been a bit personal, sitting there somewhere, or someone's held on to it for too long, and then they
or the feedback isn't personal, but we're taking it personally.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
You said that about my week. Do you know how much work I put into that? Yeah, no, I'm not saying that you didn't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying any of that.
Yeah.
We're just talking about,
how it landed.
Yeah. It's ego.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned before you weren't the best trainer, and when you told me that when we had a kōrero before this, I was like, no way, like, I just imagine you, like, hitting the gym and everything coming real easy.
Oh, no, I did all of that. It just wasn't at the level that it was supposed to be.
Yeah. So
when I first moved to Hamilton, I was 16, 17 when I was up there. I would spend my last $5 on McDonald's. Like, that was it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'd like to go to the pub, all of those things.
Yeah.
But training, the game was easy.
The game's easy.
For me, up until that point.
Mm.
So it wasn't until I got to Hamilton and started being around high-performance athletes that I went, wow, okay, so I actually have to do a little bit of work if I want to go to the next level.
Yeah.
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 So I did training, sort of, before I moved to Hamilton. I'm sure Dad drove in the car behind me while I ran along the road.
Yeah.
Back in Piopio for a couple of Ks, and I was like, oh, you have to.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Thanks, Dad.
I got this. Yeah.
Well, so now you train about 5 days a week in your gym here. Talk to us about the days when you don't feel motivated or the energy's not there, how you get yourself and what habits and routines you have around that, and how you get yourself to do that on days where, because no one's ever motivated every single day to go do these things.
No. And, you know, you have good weeks. Last week was a terrible week for me. I had no energy. This week, completely different. So my first thing is when I get home, you know, I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I have a little routine that I do in the mornings. I leave work just after 10 unless there's extra stuff, but I will try and get out of there straight away after our morning meeting.
Yeah.
So that I can get home, get into the gym straight away, and then rest, eat, make sure I get my protein in, and then I'll rest until we've got a meeting in the afternoon at 2:15.
Oh, yeah.
And then my sons come running in the door at about 2:45, 3. So I make sure with that couple of hours that I have to myself that it's setting me up for the rest of the day, well, the rest of the week, really. But when I walk in the door after driving half an hour from work, 9 times out of 10 I'm tired. And I'll go, you know what, I don't know if I can work out today because, you know, today's my schedule for lower body or whatever. I just have to take a moment. I'll sit, I'll drink a glass of water, and then I'll sit and go, am I tired, or is that apathy? Am I just feeling like, you know, I just can't be bothered? And because I know myself so well, I can make a decision at that point. So if I know that I'm really tired, I'll go, right, that's fine. I'll sleep, but I'll make sure I hit my alarm for 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that I can get out to the gym, give myself plenty of time before I have to come back in for my meeting. But if I go, okay, no, you're just being lazy, then I'll just walk out to the gym. I think that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
You know, I'm lucky because we've got my gym set up here. I don't have to get in the car and drive somewhere. But actually it's the action of moving towards the gym. So whether that's picking up the keys, starting walking to the car, because it's much harder when you're walking to the car to go, oh, I don't want to go now. So that's probably the first thing. Yeah. Am I tired, or am I just, you know, can't be bothered?
Yeah.
So that's the first part for me. But, you know, there are some days where stuff happens and you've just got to go, not today.
Yeah. Not today.
But at the same time, I'll go, if not today, when?
Yeah.
So then I'll go back to my calendar and I'll go, okay, so I can do that tomorrow. So I'm going to make sure I fit it in tomorrow.
Yeah. That
makes me feel better about not doing it today.
And it's building a plan, right? Going, okay, cool.
Building a plan, but also allows me to rest better without me going, oh, I should be going to do something. Oh, come on, you're actually not that tired. And then before you know it, you've just spent 45 minutes
arguing with yourself,
and you're not actually rested. So the whole point has been wasted.
Yeah.
So that helps with me going, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then my brain goes, sweet, no worries. You're going to do it. It's just not today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I love that, actually. Because that's the thing. I do the same. So I work out at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I get up at 4:15. I have my morning routine. I leave home at 4:45. And everyone thinks I'm nuts. But if I don't do it, then I will find every excuse not to do it in the afternoon.
Later
I
on.
know myself
Totally.
well enough. And, you know, oh no, the kids need me for homework now, and they don't. But, you know, whatever it is, like, I will find a reason that, or the day didn't quite go so well, or we hit traffic on the motorway, and, you know.
It's done. You know,
and
if you
it's
get
done.
it out of the way in the morning.
Yeah.
I used to do my workouts at 2:30 in the morning when I used to go to, I tried it.
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing
Yeah.
for, you know, a couple of months, and then it was like, I can't sustain this. It's just because I wasn't getting to bed any earlier the other, you know, at night. So it was great. Same kind of thinking. It's done. I don't have to think about it. I can come home from work and just chill.
Yeah.
But the reality of that being a long-term plan was just, you know, quite nuts. But anyway, I gave it a go.
Yeah.
See, I know. Now I know that it didn't work. But I do think you have to do that. I do think that you have to try different ways of doing things to figure out what works for you. And that will change.
Yeah.
Because life changes. And so therefore you have to kind of be flexible enough to go, right, that was amazing. That was great.
Yeah.
For that, you know, for that period,
then.
for that season of my life. But actually things have changed a little bit now. So I just figure out how everything works from there.
Yeah. I think that's it's a mindset shift, particularly for women when we become mums. We're like, but I used to be able to, whatever it is. And it's those shoulds, like the expectations we put on ourselves. But if we can have that flexibility of thought, like for our mental health, it's so much better. Like even just day to day, okay, it didn't work out today. I'm not going to crucify myself for an hour, you know, or argue with myself of making it better, but just going, okay, we just need to be flexy with this, and things are going to change and ebb and flow because it's life, and change is the only thing that's literally our normal. So yeah, just being flexible and then being kind to yourself around that. I think that's a really helpful thing for everyone to just understand, and for partners and anybody, and you know, just to support us through that kind of thinking. Go, hey, like life's changed, or there was a bit of change happening here, and that's all good, rather than almost hold us to the same old standards as well.
Yeah, we can do that to ourselves, right?
Yeah.
But again, you know, if we make a plan, I'm not doing it now, but I'm doing it, you know, at this time. All good.
Yeah. And then I reckon hold yourself to that, though. That's probably one thing, you know, we can make the next plan and then change the plan and then change the plan, but actually keep the promise to yourself.
Then it has a roll-on effect.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. If we keep doing that, why do I keep doing that? Pay attention to it, and then try and nip it in the bud. I've made a promise to myself. If I told Jenny May I was turning up at that time, I'd do it. So why am I not doing it for myself? Need to.
Yeah. That's hard though, eh?
Yeah. Life.
Yeah.
Life. So with your training now, what are your goals for yourself? So in this stage of life, what are you training for?
For life.
Yeah.
I don't have any particular exercise goals in terms of, you know, I'm going to go run a marathon or I'm going to compete in this. For me, it's about being strong and healthy to live a long, healthy, strong life. That's it. Going from training 6 days a week, probably 3-4 times of those days, twice a day.
Yeah.
From that athlete mindset, it's taken a while to shift my thinking and what's good, what's appropriate, what works, to get to a point now where I've got a workout app that I do 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And I'm good with that because I notice in myself when I'm running up steps, when I'm bending down to pick something up, that I'm strong.
Yeah.
And, you know, God, would I want to look better? Yes, of course I do. Do I want to get rid of, you know, my tummy? Yes, of course I do. Do I want to, you know, look better in my jeans? Of course I do. But that's not the goal for me anymore. For me, it's just about feeling good about myself and being able to step my sons when we're out playing, you know, a bit of rugby or touch.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
she's still good.
I'm unforgivable. I won't give it in at all to my sons when we're doing stuff. They kind of will go, Mama, and I'm like, what? You want to be on the same field as me?
Yep.
Come on, mate.
Here's where
be
we're
better.
at.
But just being able to do those things, you know, lift, do whatever. That's it. That's it for me now. You know, I look at my sons and I go, I just want to be there available for them
Yeah.
for as long as I'm on this earth.
Yeah.
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 And to do whatever we want to do, walks, hikes, whatever.
Yeah.
That it's not, oh, can we?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, should we?
Yeah.
You can. That's how I want to live
Yeah.
the rest of my days.
Free.
Yeah.
And that gives you that freedom, right? To
Yeah.
just do whatever. I read some research the other day that said as we age, don't quote me, I only read one article, so who knows, but if we can maintain strength through our hammies, our quads and our glutes, that's a good sign long term of our long term physical ability.
Biggest muscles in our bodies, right?
That's
so that makes sense.
Yeah, that's our foundation. Apparently, don't quote me, but it was research
I'll
over
go
that.
With that. Yeah.
You heard it here.
Yeah.
So in your netball career, I've got two-part question. What is an absolute highlight? What's something that just was standout moment you'll never forget? Be that age groups, club, ferns, magic, any of it.
I don't know. It's so long ago. Because I have kind of shut that part of my world away. I often find it quite funny when somebody will go, wow, you used to play netball. And I'll be like, oh, yeah. Yes, you so did.
Yeah.
Once upon a time. There was one Nationals in Hamilton, I remember. I think we might have even played Canterbury. I remember that. I think Knowles was playing at the time as well. That was one of those days when everything was just magic. It was Nationals, so it was Waikato. I do remember that. I do remember when I was 15 playing against Sandra Etch.
Oh, wow.
Down in Te Kuiti. I was this young kid coming through and she was the woman playing in the Silver Ferns. Amazing player, and the opportunity to, that was for me, this is how I test myself as a young kid coming up against somebody like her. Never forget that. Yeah. There were different times being in Jamaica, playing in Jamaica against them was pretty phenomenal. Not at the World Champs. We went the year or two beforehand. And there's probably times off court actually that I remember a lot more.
Yeah.
But I do remember the time when I came back from playing, and I don't know what it was, whether it was an exhibition game or a club game, or anyway, I went forward to get the ball and I fell flat on my face because my brain knew where I needed to be.
Oh, no.
But my feet didn't.
Come on, legs.
And going, what just happened? And then the girls on the sideline go, Jane, are you okay? And I'm like, it was like nobody around. I didn't even know what just happened. That happened like 2 or 3 times.
Oh, it was priceless.
And, like the first time that happened, I should have gone, okay, you need to give up now. Or at least lower your expectations, because your body's not like it used to be. That's probably the thing that sticks in my mind the most. That's the end.
That was phenomenal. The end. Oh, shivers.
Oh, dear.
If it helps, my standout is when I was 14 playing in the 4A for Sacred Heart netball, and all the St. John's boys had come down to watch us for some God unknown reason. And my mate Jamie Malatino, I was goalkeeper, she was goal defence, and I went up, we were in those old pleated skirts with the zip.
Yes, I remember those.
And I had my arms up and she held me as I leaned in, and she took my skirt off. And I was just standing there and she ran around the outside of the court laughing. And I was like, of all days, this is not the day. Of all the great things I've been involved in, that is my standout. And I was such a shy kid too. I was like, I can't believe this is happening. And she's just cracking up laughing. We still talk about that.
Well,
Jamie
you weren't like
Malatino.
one of my mates who only had a G-string on one day when she turned up to netball. Anyway, she was hot, so it's fine.
We played on court 1, and one of my friends hadn't gone home, and she had a red G-string on. And we all had double unders, you double undie.
Yes.
And none of us would give it her our second pair. We were like,
So
nah,
good.
you are. And she's centre, so she was flying back and forth with her red. You know who
Brilliant.
you are. I won't say your name.
So good.
Oh, nipple.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, my mum and dad watch you on the telly all the time, and you are in the public eye, and you are doing lots of amazing things. And now you're doing your netball commentary too, which is
Yes, that's
I'm
fun.
Big fan. But there are obviously lots of opinions out there, and I'm just wondering how you choose of where you're going to put your energy and what you're listening to and what you choose to focus on.
I don't hear the noise.
Yeah.
Generally because I don't read it or just don't bother with it, to be honest. A lot of my energy is just into the work that I'm doing, trying to be the best that I can be. And I mean, I podcast and hang out with cool people. That's it. Like, my life's pretty simple. Despite what I do and the noise that comes along with that, when you throw yourself out there, when you choose to put yourself in public spaces, not that that gives people the right, just because you're a public figure, to throw whatever they want at you. I just don't buy into it.
Good.
There are people around me who will say if I haven't quite got it right. Those are people who, whether it's family, whether it's work colleagues, but they're the people where I invest my energy in. Although, to be honest, I did see a comment the other day about Clarkson scribble face. Yeah, I think, that's what it was. And I looked at it and I was like, what? And then I went, sadly, I'm not surprised. And that's not even the tip of the iceberg. And I know that. But it did hurt for a moment. Yeah. But only momentarily. And then I went, I actually feel for that person. That's their way of expressing themselves. And who cares? I mean, not. I kind of go, who cares that I choose to be this way? Yeah. Why does that bother you so much? Yeah. What is it? Maybe you need to look at yourself and ask that question of yourself. I don't know. I just feel for people like that.
Yeah, it's a lack of self-awareness and awareness in general, but of themselves. I saw a video that got made a couple of weeks ago. So there's a singer called Sabrina Carpenter, and she turned up on some red carpet of, I don't know, whatever it is, and she was wearing whatever she was wearing. And these trolls, these dudes, had comment after comment. And what they actually did, they put this video together of, like, he said, I don't know, whatever he said about how she looked or whatever, and then they put a photo of that person up. Like, but then going, maybe he should have a look at this and that, like, because there's no right. I think they think there's a right to say stuff unnecessarily, and like that is racist and silly.
I often, I'll get DMs from people straight away. I'll just delete it because I kind of get it. But I might be on social media and there's a clip or whatever, and then you see a comment or two, and I've often thought about taking a photo of that and reposting, comment after comment, and then I kind of go, but why? Yeah. What kind of energy am I trying to bring to this? I don't need it. Yeah. Nobody else needs it. We all know what's going on. Yeah. Do I really need to put it out into the world? Half of them have got fake profiles anyway.
True.
I mean, you're not calling anybody out because you don't actually know who that person is. And half the time, the photo on there is not of them, it's of something else. And so I kind of go, I don't know. That's not the kind of energy that I want in my life or put into anybody else's life. Yeah. So I kind of go, it's there. We all know it's there. Yeah. But we don't need to highlight it even more and give it
legs.
Yeah.
At the same time, stop doing it. If you
Yeah, totally.
Just don't do it.
Yeah.
If you know your mate does it, tell them to stop. Don't fuel the fire for your mates. Or sometimes it's also a generational thing, and you kind of go, oh, that's just because they don't understand. Actually, let's help them understand.
And I think, a lot of the time with me being on television, I kind of go, that's part of what I'm trying to do as well.
Educating.
It's just, you see a moko kawaii on television every morning. It's not that
normalised.
bad. It's okay.
Normalised. Because
I'm still the same person.
Yeah.
You might not like me as a person. That's cool.
Yeah.
I talk about this. Going to like everybody.
Yeah, I talk about this with leaders a lot because we do a lot of coaching and mentoring in that space. And they're always be like, but we've done X, Y, and Z and we haven't pleased everyone. Well, you're never going to. No matter what you do, I'll have an expectation that you'll never meet because my old boss might have done something that you're not doing. And it's like these unspoken expectations, like know that you're doing the best with what you've got and that you're trying to improve, etc., etc.
Hit the mark with some people.
Yeah, but you'll never, you'll just never please everyone, and you've got to find that peace that you're doing your best. You're well and truly above, baseline of treatment of humans, and then everything else is a bonus. Otherwise, have those honest conversations, like you said. Like if there's something teetering, ask the question out loud and just go, "Hey, is something? Am I missing something here?" And I may not be able to meet the expectation you're looking for, but we can have a kōrero about it. But
adult conversation about it. Yeah.
But being in the public eye, you can't obviously go and have a kōrero with everybody. But pretty sure you're meeting, you're exceeding a lot of expectations. Now with your mahi, you're on devices a lot, obviously, as well, and I'm sure that's something you've had to work on around balance. So how do you do that with social media? Because we all dance with this, trying to balance ourselves and not spend so much time on it.
I get it right some weeks, and then other weeks not at all. Like this is a week where I haven't been good. So all I can think about is
so we're in the hole.
But the weeks I know, if I'm feeling tired, more tired than usual, that's the first thing I'll look at. How much time have I actually spent on my phone scrolling? How much time how much of a break have I actually given myself? So I'll sit at my table and do work throughout the day at different times. I'll come sit in here and bring my laptop with me and work and then put it to the side. And then I'll pick my phone up and start on my phone. And I have caught myself a few times going, okay, you got to put that away. And then the next minute I'm grabbing it again. But an indicator to me is, even though I've been here for half an hour, I don't feel rested. And the reason being, because I have my devices with me. The easiest thing that I can do is put those out of my reach while I'm resting, taking that time out to just be away from devices, where I'm supposed to be resting. It's constant though. Again, some weeks I nail it and other weeks I'm not. But I think it's the knowing that.
Awareness.
That you are on it too much, and then, okay, what is it that I can do to stop that? Some people are really good at it. I'm on mine a lot because of work, but then that kind of seeps into grabbing other things as well. Like I say, my phone, checking that out. I don't know. I don't know what the right thing, for each individual. But I think if you're aware of it, then what's the plan? If you are aware of it, then what do you do about it? And if it's you don't know what to do about it, then that's when I would maybe start, like I do, podcast, listen to stuff that kind of reiterates to you how bad it is for your brain to be doing that. Or the messages. Actually, the thing that brings me back is my boys when they're coming in. And usually when they get home from school, I'm sitting there on my computer. And so that's the first thing they see. So for me, it'll be, right, put it down, go out to the door, meet them, just give big hugs, ask how could have went so that they can say good and walk off. But just, they will give me an indication of, oh, you're on your phone again.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Awesome parenting.
Yep.
Winning.
Yep.
Yeah.
I keep thinking if they keep seeing me on that, when they finally get them, they're never going to look me in the eye again. So that's my thing, is when we're around the kids, as much as possible, we
I reckon awareness, but then knowing what is it that you're going to do,
and on and
when
off.
when you're aware of it.
Not open the next app once you've But I like the one about just putting it away. Just even if you're sitting at your work desk, just put it over there, because the only thing that's going to be critical will be a phone call. Nothing else is critical. When people
and
are
if
dinging.
you actually get up to go and get it just because, then
situation.
It's a red flag.
Yeah. Now you have obviously a lot on your plate. So how do you manage your energy? Do you have any strategies? You come home and you do your resting. Is there anything else? Do you communicate any boundaries, or is there anything else you've set up for yourself?
No, I'm pretty good at saying no now.
Yeah.
If there's things I don't want to do, I just say no.
Yeah.
Save my energy for things that I want to do, for things that I want to attend. But also I'm mindful that sometimes I'll say no to things and I'll go, actually, that's probably really good for me to be able to go and do that, because, I'll get to catch up with a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
But doing my workouts, resting during the day, being quite strict around that, those are things that I'll forego other things to ensure that those things happen. But, I start myself off pretty well in the day. I'll get up, I'll stretch for 5 minutes, I'll sit at the table, I'll have a good breakfast at 3:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'm setting myself up already with those small habits, take my supplements or whatever in the morning. And that, at least I know I've won that part of the day.
Yep.
And
you've got some foundation sitting in there.
Yeah, up until 10 o'clock, I've nailed it.
Yeah.
So if I want to nail the next part of the day, that means not veering off somewhere on the way home that you don't necessarily have to go to, and it's boring, but it works.
Yeah.
Home, workout, rest, work. And then once I get those things, then my energy is there for my family, or to be able to do something with someone else a little bit later in that day. Yeah. But if I am going to veer off, and if I am going to take a detour, and I am going to go and catch up with friends, I make sure that it's, again, I move things that I'm supposed to do on that day, or I've factored in that meeting and how long it's going to take for the rest of my day.
Yep. Like us interrupting what you should have been exercising by now, eh?
No, today's my day off.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, you've had lots of learnings around hormones as well.
Yep.
So I'm really keen to share some of those learnings with the people who are listening as well, because there's we're starting to get better at talking about our perimenopause and menopause and the learnings that are sitting around that, but we're also still really bad at talking about it too. So do you want to talk to us about some of the learnings that you've had around there?
I found out about perimenopause and menopause during a conversation that was happening with two other people in the makeup room at TVNZ. And I was listening to it as I walked past and took the makeup off my face, and I'm still listening to this conversation, and I come back. I mean, I know there's women, and then I was like, what are you talking about? And I go, oh my God, the hot flashes and the sweating and I feel really anxious, and I'm like, okay, I feel the same way. What are you talking about? Perimenopause.
Wow.
Never heard of it before then. I mean, I had, but never kind of thought that was going to be me.
Yeah.
And that's how it started, just with that conversation. And then it's been a couple of years of trying to learn and understand.
Yeah.
But the game changer for me was actually going to see a menopause doctor.
Yeah.
I can still remember the conversation I had with her I was sitting at the table, my husband was prepping dinner, and I had her so that he could hear, and I burst into tears because all of these things were happening and I didn't understand why I couldn't think, why I was flying off the handle, why I couldn't keep my emotions in check, why I started getting, belly fat.
Yeah.
Even after my boys, my body returned to somewhat normal.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden I was just putting weight on and I didn't understand why. And just hearing somebody say, yeah, no, that's perimenopause. And it was just like this relief of, oh my God, I'm not going nuts.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a thing. My husband hearing it, talking about low libido, that, and you can see, and I guess part of that was my emotion was, this is how relationships can fall apart.
Yep.
Because we don't understand, that when the estrogen and the progesterone goes out of the body, that actually there's a whole lot of things, including your desire to be intimate with your partner. And you're just constantly butting heads like this going, it's not you. No, it's actually not you, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
Yeah.
But the friction that has caused, and again, the relationships that have come apart because of that and not understanding any of that. I think that's really important for us to know. And also that not all of our GPs and our medical professionals have a depth of understanding about menopause. And so to have a conversation with somebody that went, there's a whole range of things. Not everybody feels perimenopause the same. And it can start for some women in their late 30s, can start for, others slightly earlier. But actually that hormonal change that's happening over that time can have a myriad of impacts on you. And I think that's really important too, because we feel like, why aren't I coping anymore?
Yeah.
Why have I got brain fog? Why can't I think? Why can't I know what I need to say, but I can't find the words to say it.
I can't get the filing cabinet to get the thing.
And then the whole trying to control your emotions. 1 minute you're fine, boom, next minute you've gone from 0 to 10, and then you go, what? Why did I respond in that way?
Yeah.
There's no need for that kind of response to the question or to the situation. So understanding all of that, understanding how I can balance that out with food. And again, man, I've been doing this for a couple of years and I still haven't nailed it. But I'm aware of it and I continue to keep trying to find the right mix of hormone replacement therapy for me, exercise, supplements. And I think if you can, this is the other bit that kind of I get upset with, that's annoying, is that it costs lots of money to see a perimenopause doctor or a menopause doctor. This stuff should be available to all of us. But it was the game changer when it came to understanding what I'm doing, what's happening to me, and that actually I don't have to live my life that way, that there is help. And there are things that you can do, whether it's through hormone replacement therapy or whether it's through, for you, more natural for you to do it through food or that it's there. There's help there. You don't have to feel like this sad, grey, like the joy from life is being sucked out of you. That's not normal. And there's help.
And we're pack animals, right? Like we need to do it with other people. If you try and go it alone, it's just so much harder. But I think I still think we've talked to quite a few women now about perimenopause and menopause, and I feel like there's this shame or like an admission of aging that we like feel funny about saying out loud sometimes.
I don't know. I feel like it's just that we don't know.
And I didn't even know there was a menopause doctor. Like So we've done all these talks. Like one was with Jeanette Perkins-Keogh, who was one of the main advocates for getting a lot of support put in for women in New Zealand, particularly. She was part of the initial movement here. She never even talked about a specific menopause doctor, but it's knowledge, it's knowing those things. But then again, like you said, with finances, like, and then it's also so you can know it. But then if there's
Accessing
supplements, as you know, that costs money, like all those different things. It's another thing to.
And there's lots of different podcasts. There's lots of different people talking about it now. But again, it's a lot of information, and I don't know what's right for me.
Yeah.
And so that's where my menopause doctor was helpful. And I can still have those conversations with her. Where are you at? And I still don't feel like I've got the right mix. Okay, so maybe we need to try this. It's an ongoing process. It's not, okay, right, here's the pill, this is what you need, away you go. It's not like that at all, because everybody's different. They experience perimenopause differently, and their body responds to different therapies or ways of trying to deal with it differently.
So my final question of the day is, and I wish I could have talked to you about this when I was a teenager. So for any people who are coming through the ranks right now, even for your sons now, what would be some of the advice that you would give them, to anybody, around the derailers that come along on the journey, or the mindsets that we may carry that may not be necessarily helpful for us? What would be some of the advice around that, moving through the world with those ups and downs?
I'm constantly talking to my boys. It's one thing to have tools and suggestions and ideas about the things that you can do for yourself. I think a lot can be taken on by people who are around young people, and our responsibility to them to allow them to grow in a healthy environment, the words we speak over them, and surrounding them with love, so that when they walk into the world, they understand that they are loved, and that no matter what happens, they will always have a safe place and space to come home to. And that's the adults that are responsible for fostering that in our young people. So my challenge is more to us, the responsible ones, and how we choose to speak life over our children. I don't always get it right either, but I ensure that my sons know that they are capable of achieving whatever it is that they want to do, even though I'm sitting there going, I'm not really sure that's going to happen, but you dream big, son. You go for it, because I don't know what he's potentially capable of. It's not up to us to limit expectations, to limit their thinking because of our own experiences and what we think we know to be true. Our job is just to allow them to have the dreams that they want to achieve, that they may not even know that they're capable of, but that they know no matter what, that they're always supported and loved. Because life is full of ups and downs, but if we wrap our children up in all of that love, then no matter what happens when they get bounced around, like we know that life's going to do to them, that will build that resilience within them.
Resilience is the key part, right?
I say no to my sons all the time. No, and I'm quite happy about it. No, Mama, can we have? And I see the disappointment on their faces, and it's hard, but you kind of go, teaching you a lesson here, son. You can't have everything. And if you want it, you have to work for it. That's the best thing I can do for them. Because life ain't fair. I tell them that all the time. Life isn't fair, mate. Get used to it. But Mama, not just saying. I go back to what I said at the beginning. Just give everything a go. Enjoy it, suck at it, not like it, but you'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And whatever that outcome of that is, it's just building little steps of resilience in life. Because if you don't give it a go, then you don't get that knockback, or you don't get that feeling of that was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
None of that happens if you stay safe.
Yeah. You're not living.
Yeah.
Not writing the story with the different chapters of the
That's
other
it.
of the
That's
ups
it.
and downs. It's going to make. I always think that's going to make for a great story one day. Now we've got one final question for you.
Yes. Yeah.
Now every interviewee asks the next interviewee a question. So if you read that question out for us, that's your question for the day.
If you were your own very best friend, what would you tell yourself to stop doing? Doubting what I can do. Putting limitations on myself at this point in time in life. Going, you've done lots. You've been doing this for a long time. What is it that you actually can do outside of this? Stop that limited thinking.
Yeah.
And what I do with my sons, allow them to dream big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that
Very
answer.
cool question.
It's
I love
a good
that.
question and a great answer. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for having us in your beautiful whare. And we will see you again next time. Ka kite.
Pleasure.